Problem number 5 says, name a possible value for n that is a solution to 15 is less than n, but not a solution to n is less than 25. Problem number 5 is like a puzzle in which you are looking for a possible value or a possible number for n following two rules. In math, though, we don't say rules, we call them constraints. So the two rules or the two constraints that you have to follow is that the number or the value for n needs to be a solution to 15 is less than n. And that is why I annotated constraint number 1. And the second constraint or the second rule is that that number or that value that I've chosen for n cannot be a solution to n is less than 25. And that is why I annotated constraint number 2. So two constraints, a solution to this inequality, but not a solution to this inequality. To help me remember that as I am looking for this number for n, I am going to write on my paper here, solution, to remind me that this was one of the constraints or one of the rules. And on the right, I'm going to write not a solution. So I need a number or a value for n that is a solution to 15 is less than n. I am going to go ahead and write that. And remember, if it is a solution to the inequality, that means that it makes the inequality true. So I can make my little check mark to remind me that it needs to make this inequality true, but not a solution to n is less than 25. So I'm going to go ahead and write n is less than 25. And if the number or the value is not a solution, when I substitute it for n, it will make the inequality false. So I'm going to mark it with an X to remind me that it needs to make it false because it is not a solution. So let's go ahead and think of a number. What is a number that is greater than 15? Like 20. So let's say instead of writing n, I write 20. And this is true. 15 is less than 20. So I'm going to go ahead and mark my check mark. And I need to take the same value for n, which was 20, and I need to substitute it into this inequality. And when I do, it needs to make it false. So instead of writing n, I am going to write 20. And I am going to write the rest of the inequality. And remember, it needs to make it false. So let's go ahead and read it. 20 is less than 25. Is that correct? Yes, that is correct. 20 is less than 25. So I'm going to mark it as correct. But remember, the problem told us that the solution cannot be a solution to this inequality. We should have gotten an X here. It should have made it false. Because this is true, 20 can't be an answer. So I'm going to go ahead and take my pencil and scratch out 20. N equals 20 cannot be an answer. Let's go ahead and think of another number. Maybe 30. So I am going to write 15 is less than 30. And yes, that is correct. 15 is less than 30. If I take 30 and I write it into this second inequality, it needs to make it false. So instead of writing n, I'm going to write 30 and write the rest of the inequality. So now I have 30 is less than 25. Is that true? 30 is less than 25. And we know that that is not true. That is false. 30 is not less than 25. So I am going to go ahead and mark it with an X. So I now have found a possible value for n, which we said is 30. N equals 30. That is a solution to the first inequality, but is not a solution to the second inequality. So a possible value, my final answer is a possible value for 30, a possible value for n is 30. Again, is it the only answer? No, it is not. You could have, instead of doing 30, you could have substituted 40. 15 is less than 40. That would have been correct. And if I took 40 and I substituted here, 40 is less than 25? No, that would be false. So you would be able to write an X. And 40 could have also been your answer. This here is just one answer.